Solve the equation 6x cubed minus 13x squared plus 4 equals 0. Okay, well, we're not given any clues really to help us with this, so to start this question off, what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to use the factor theorem to identify my first factor. So what that means is I'm going to have to trial some values. What we're going to do is we're going to trial factors of 4 to see if I can get one of these expressions to level out as equal to 0 for us. So trial factors of 4. The only factors of 4 are 1, 2 and 4. Now looking at this, I can see if I put 1 in here, it doesn't matter how I do the combinations of 1, 6 and 4 and 13 are not going to combine to give me 0. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try f of 2 to start off with, and just a little bit of thinking and analytical thinking about the equation beforehand may save you a little bit of work. So I have 6 lots of 2 cubed minus 13 lots of 2 squared plus 4. So f of 2 equals 6 times 8 is 48 minus 13 times 4, which is minus 52, plus 4. So what I have is f of 2 equals 0, therefore x minus 2 is a factor. Okay, knowing that x minus 2 is a factor, what I can now do is factorize my cubic equation. Now what I know is when I factorize a cubic equation, if I've got a linear factor, it must multiply some sort of quadratic ax squared plus bx plus c, where a, b and c are constants to be found. So what I do is I construct a table, and so I put down the left hand side my linear factor x minus 2, and now what I do is I consider how I'd expand with this hypothetical quadratic. Now my first term here, 6x cubed, what I know is that will be generated by multiplying x times ax squared. So I can put 6x cubed into this top position in my table. What do I need to multiply x by to get 6x cubed? Well, I need to multiply it by 6x squared. And so I get my first term. So what I'll do is I'll follow up by multiplying 6x squared by minus 2 to give me minus 12x squared. Now, what happens is this filling this table becomes a little bit like a Sudoku puzzle. So now what I know is I've got minus 12x squared. I actually want to end up with minus 13x squared. So that means in this other position where I do x times bx, I must need another x squared, minus x squared. So these two now total up to minus 13x squared, which is what matches in my equation. What do I need to multiply x by to get minus x squared? I need to multiply by minus x. So again, I can now fill in this bottom row. Minus 2 times minus x is plus 2x. Now if we look at our equation, I've got no x. Here I've got 2x, so I'm going to need to take away 2x to make sure that in my final cubic I end up with no x. So what do I need to multiply x by to get minus 2x? The answer is minus 2. And so just checking this final position, my two constants multiplied together gives me plus 4, and that should match what I have in my cubic, and it does. So I now know that I've factorized this correctly. Okay, we're nearly there now. So I've got my initial factor, x minus 2. What I want to do is now factorize my quadratic, 6x squared minus x minus 2. 6 times minus 2 is minus 12. Factors of minus 12 with a difference of 1 would be minus 4 and plus 3. So 6x squared plus 3x minus 4x minus 2. And then factorising the first two terms, I can take 3x out as a common factor. So I get 2x plus 1. My second term, if I take out minus 2 as a common factor, I get another bracket which is 2x plus 1, and I can finally finish off by taking the 2x plus 1 outside as a common factor and leaving the 3x minus 2 inside another bracket as my final bracket. So what I know then is that with the equation 6x cubed minus 13x squared plus 4 equal to 0, this can be written as x minus 2, 2x plus 1, 3x minus 2, all equal to 0. And so therefore, x minus 2 equals 0 leads to my first solution of x equals 2. 2x plus 1 equal to 0 leads to rearranging this, subtract 1 from both sides and divide by 2, so I get minus a half, and 3x minus 2 equal to 0. If I add 2 to both sides and then divide by 3, I get x equals to 2/3. And there we have our cubic equation solved. So let's look at how the marks are awarded in this question. So if you tried to, and you did show that f of 2 equals 0, you get a method mark. If you've attempted for at least 2 values, but you've not necessarily got the f of 2, if you've attempted for at least 2 values, you can also have a method mark. If you stated that x minus 2 is a factor, you get an answer mark. So it's really important you actually state that x minus 2 is a factor. If you have tried to factorize the cubic and you have got the 6x squared as the leading term of the quadratic, you can have a method mark. It doesn't matter what the other terms are as long as you've got that 6x squared. If you have got the entire quadratic correct, then you can have an accuracy or an answer mark. Next, if you have managed to factorize your quadratic to get the 2 other brackets, you can have another answer mark. And then finally, you get your 6th and final answer mark if you have stated that the solutions for the equation are x equals 2, x equals minus a half, and x equals 2/3. Okay, well I hope you understood my explanation and you understood how to mark that question.